Hi, my name's Alex McMillan, Success Moves Sales. This particular video is for our specific product interview process day and for candidates looking for jobs that are going to attend it. It's really to give them advice on how to do well at your interview, how to present yourself your best, and to give you the ups and the downs of the day and what to do to succeed on it. First of all, the Success Moves had this interview process day for clients from the one side because it actually, in sales, it's very difficult to recruit. You can't tell from just CVs and plain forward interviews. So we had more in the day. The candidates mix with each other. We see how they react. It processes everybody on the same day. It actually gives a lot of chance to people who wouldn't get an interview because their CV wasn't strong enough. So we actually managed to get these people to show their talents to get through. And a lot of people get jobs who normally might have found it actually quite a lot difficult. So we look after people on the day. There's even an element of free sales training in the day. We really pamper you, but it's first interview, second interview, the whole process on the day with offers or rejections decided on the day. None of this hanging about afterwards. So for clients, it's a mass processing event that saves them a fortune in money and time and gets them top quality people. For candidates, it's actually really quicker and often gives them a chance where they wouldn't normally have had a chance. So it's really worth doing very well on the day, and I want to give you a few tips. So the first real big tip is know your goals. Sounds very standard stuff, but I've interviewed so many people now and I say, what are your career goals? Or what are your goals in life generally? And they pause, like they have to think about it. I know if somebody asks me my goals, I don't do any pausing, whatever subject it's on, business, career, personal, whatever. I know them straight away. So sometimes they're trying to think, oh, what's the answer the interviewer wants? And that's really not what they want. They don't want this bullshit answer. They want actually what your real goals are and that you've got one. There is no right goal usually. It's that you've got one. So whether your goals are to be the team leader, a sales manager, to manage your own team. Maybe one day you want to be the top biller. Maybe one day you want to set up your own business, which would be fine to most people. A clear goal of where you're heading to. Why are you here today for this interview? Why have you made the trouble to come? There must be some reason, or are you just doing the rounds and going to try your best? Nobody wants the I'm going to try my best types. They want people that are 100% going to succeed at it. The people that stay for the long term, not try it and drop out in a day, a week, 2 weeks. There's thousands of those and companies are getting very tired of that. People that are actually going to succeed. So you've really got to know what your goals are. Very important to write down your goals and think about them truthfully. Don't think what's the right answer. Think, what exactly do I want in my career? Is it just money? How big a part does money play? And if it's money, what aspect of money? Do you want like big income or something specific you buy? Or just the sheer status of being the top biller? What exactly do you want in your life? This is good career tips anyway, because if you know what you want, you've got a lot more chance to actually get it because you're going to be following the right path. So know your goals. So when somebody says to you, what are your goals? Know what they are. And if it's just, I want to earn a lot of commission and buy a new car, that's fine. But have some goals. Know exactly what they are when they're probed. Now, further on in the day, we're looking for various skills that all salespeople should have. But we're looking for a natural talent in it often rather than just experience, because a lot of sales skills are natural. There are people very young, we interview and get jobs for people 16 and 17 in good paying jobs. And sales is one of the best areas of recruitment because I can't think of anything else without having a college degree or without being like 10 years of experience. You can earn over £100,000 a year in your early 20s. We have actually placed dozens of people that have gone on to earn that sort of money before they're 25. Before they're even 22 in some cases. So you really can get paid according to your results. So it's worth trying hard at these interviews. Now, what we're looking for to achieve those goals in the job is that your goals match to the company's goals, but you actually know, how to actually develop rapport with people. How do you talk to a stranger? How do you get them in a few minutes to actually be your friend, to trust you, to be credible in what you're saying? Are you that people person, the cliche that everybody uses? Do you mingle well? So on the day, when you arrive, you will meet other people, mingle with them. It's all being assessed. I'll give it away to you. We're assessing you before the day even starts. Yeah, we can see the people who are very shy and nervous, and we can see the people that naturally own the room, which is really fantastic. So that's really quite good. So we're looking for those opening skills throughout the day. Now, another thing which is very hard to assess, certainly on CV and really on interview, is personality. And personality, you can train sales skills. And a lot of companies now are not too worried about your sales skills. That's easy to train, and you can train it quite quickly. But a personality, a sense of humor, when you're talking to someone on the phone or meeting them face to face, they're going to buy into you personally more than any product or any spiel you've got. So if you've got a personality, a sense of humor, to come over as very friendly, to come over as someone they enjoy talking to someone that they can trust and is not going to be ripped off, to someone that they can do business with. That personality. Now, so be yourself. So many people hide their personality because they've got to be a bit clinical in an interview. Forget it. Be yourself. And if they don't like who you are, you wouldn't have been happy there anyway. So totally be yourself. Now, next, and fairly obviously, closing skills. Closing is the other end of selling. It's asking for the business. Now, a lot of people who are good at opening aren't very good at closing. It's a different communication skill. Closing is about being assertive. It's about asking for the money. A lot of people get very shy when it comes to, oh God, will you buy then? No, salespeople are not order takers. They don't wait for somebody to order. They talk them all the benefits. They find out what their needs are. They find out the benefits of the product. They match the two together. Then let the customer know they're matched together, assuming they are, and then ask for the money, ask for the deal, ask for the going ahead. And those closing skills are a whole range of communication. So they can be trained to some extent, but they're looking for someone who has it naturally. There are some people that I've seen trained, and even years later, it's just not in their style. It's just not them, and they don't like being assertive. So you've got to show those closing skills. That moves me on to the middle of any sales presentation, whatever you're doing or selling, will be objection handling. Somebody's going to get interested in your product or service, and they're going to throw some problems at you. Oh, I'm a bit busy, call me next week. Sounds great, send me a brochure. Bit expensive at the moment, I can't afford it. Whatever it is, you've got to counter these in a very respectful way. Now, untrained, unexperienced salespeople tend to get in arguments here. No, you don't get in arguments. Win arguments, lose sales is the old maxim. You've got to be able to communicate. Now, in the interview itself, questions you're asked, I see all those books on Amazon, great answers to tough interview questions. Absolute baloney. There are no right answers. Get that out of your head. They want to know who you are. They want to know the truth. They don't want some packaged, canned answer that you think that one's right. Too many, and I do a lot, that I would say more than 90% of interviewers will pause before any question asked for them whilst they try to work out what the right answer is. No, just answer whatever comes to mind. And if it's not right for you, you'd be setting yourself into a job that isn't right for you anyway. So don't do it. So questions and answers. Like, for example, earlier on I said, what are your goals? One question I ask on interview quite often is, if I gave you £10,000 cash right now, what would you do with it? Now, I find that if we're promoting a stockbroker's, an investment company, they say, I'll definitely invest it. If I'm, you get the drift. Yeah, they're answering what we think is right. Now, salespeople who are in 21, 22, particularly if they're young at the early start of their career, or even older for that matter, they don't invest, they don't save, they go and spend. That's the nature of a salesperson, is to live in the day and have fun. And, so it can be very indicative of where somebody's coming from. Now, one of the things we look for, which counts a lot of rejections, we've found for a lot of clients in sales companies, our clients and other people's clients, is too strong an accent. Now, I don't mind that whether you're from any part of the UK or any part of the world, if you've got a strong regional accent, UK or worldwide, it tends to be quite a negative communication. It does tend to indicate that you only communicate with people that are from your country, town, race, religion, whatever it is, where you got that accent from. Salespeople tend to mingle and not have that many accents. Plus, there's a lot of people when they're buying stuff don't like accents, and it gets to the level where you're not actually totally sure what the person said. So, you know, if you're doing £100,000 deal, you really want the crystal clear English. So accents, I even know many foreigners who speak absolutely fluent English, but with the accent from their native country. They've got to learn that they've got to talk as though somebody on the phone wouldn't know what country they're from or what part of the country they're from just by the accent. Crystal clear English. And if you haven't got it, get elocution, get lessons, get on it. And within accents is what some people call street, you know, I don't know, do you know what I mean, mate? You know, people don't like that. You're not going to mix it. It depends what sort of people you're selling to. Obviously, you've got to match and mirror the type of culture that you're selling to, but not having any of that makes it easy in all occasions. So you really do need crystal clear English. Now, a question a lot of people ask for me, it says, I'm very nervous and don't really understand how remuneration in sales works. There's basic commissions, prizes, bonuses, all sorts of things. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of, you know, when they ask questions, of just saying what is the basic. We get people on the phone ring us on job adverts, and they say, oh, got a question on this job, can I ask what the basic is? And I say to them, okay, do you want to know about the management, the company, the products, the market for the products, the reach of the market to the market of the products, and the commission scheme? And they say, no, just the basic. What does that tell you on the receiving end? Does that tell you that they want to do 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, no pressure, and just take the maximum money they can come home with and no pressure? Or does it tell you they want to earn the big bucks? So it's very dangerous to just ask for basic and be geared to what your basic is. So good salespeople will ask before we even talk money and say, okay, what is actually the products and services? What is the market for it? What is your top earner taking home now in your sales department? That's an absolute key one. You've got to know that answer to that question, because that's not necessarily the roof, but that's what the best person's doing now. And I think if you're going for a sales job in a department, you ought to target to be at least as good as the guy who's cracking at that level now. Yeah, so that is a key question to ask. And watch how basic and commissions work. Certain industries have zero basic and it's purely commission. Some industries like investment I mentioned have a very low basic and it's really all about the commission. Some industries have very high basic and an annual commission. Now it depends on quite what you are and your goals, but you'll tend to find if really making a lot of money is your goal, obviously the higher the commission, the lower the basic formula tends to be where the big earners are, because the higher the basic you have, the more risk the company's taking, and to pay for that risk, they have to lower the overall percentage of the margin you're getting. For example, I interviewed somebody the other day who's in sales earning £175,000 last year. He was pretty proud about that. Now I asked you, do you think he's doing well? Well, in reality, you don't know. You've not got enough information. Now when I probed him, he put in £4 million of margin into the profit in that year to earn the 175,000. Now, if you divide 175,000 by 4 million and think about that's his commission share, and the other side of that is what the company got, I would say he was ripped off. So be very careful when you work out the formulas of what it's worth. Obviously, the margin and things changes on industries quite dramatically. Another interesting thing is if you're very new to sales, you really want to get a year plus on your CV to get yourself established, get some learning in and training. And training, what training does the company provide is actually a more key question. But I found that good people don't ask too much about the money, because their thinking is, even at trainee or senior level, because their thinking is, you know, I don't care what your basic commission is, I'm going to do so well for you, it's your problem to keep me working for your company and keep the deals coming in. So you can get quite arrogant about it and doing it. Okay, now another big advantage to all employees we ever work with, when they want salespeople in the sales department and they're hotted up on you, they want you tomorrow. Now people have a notice, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, but on 4 week, you've really got a serious problem. But the sooner you can start work is a real advantage in recruitment. So if you can start the next day, That really sells people quite. You're unemployed or you're not on notice, you can start tomorrow. That is a very powerful selling point. Now, I mention that because most people who are unemployed actually think they've got a disadvantage in recruitment. They've got a big advantage because actually you can start immediately, and that's what people want. They want you to start immediately in the job. Now, the last thing I want to say on our interview process today is what we look for. We're looking for people who are going to stay the distance. If you're a trainee and it's a new situation, the first 3 months are going to be tough. Really, really tough, and you're going to think about dropping and leaving. Now, the average company out there has a 75% dropout in the first month, let alone the first quarter. Yeah, our interview process day, by the way, for clients, the figure is dramatically less than that because of our system. But they're not looking for people who are going to try their best and just drifting around and drifting around. But for your personal sake, when you take a job, decide, I am going to stay there for at least 3 months, whatever it takes, however hard I have to work, whatever I have to learn, whatever knocks. And rejection, you're going to get lots of rejection. Every sales job has lots of rejection. If you can't deal with rejection, you shouldn't really be in sales. Techniques to deal with it, but that's what you've got to come over. So anyway, if you've been invited to one of our interview process days for a sales job, I wish you the best of luck. And if any other help I can give you, message me, email me, ring me, text me, contact us through LinkedIn, anything you like. I'm always here to help. So I wish you best. I look forward to meeting you in the future, and progress and prosper.